Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bolo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Radharaman Temple, allowing me this privilege to speak on the science of Bhagavad-gita. Bhagavad-gita is known as Gita Upanishads. All the Upanishads, all the Vedic literatures are like a cow. And we know that our beloved Lord Krishna is known as Gopal, Govinda. He is a cowherd boy. And so he is milking this cow of Upanishads and Vedas. And we know that a cow will give milk when there is a calf. So the calf is Arjuna. Krishna is milking the cow and giving this milk. And what is the milk? The holy Bhagavad-gita. And delivering it to Arjuna. And because Krishna arranged this whole battle of Kurukshetra was all staged by Krishna. There were many purposes Krishna had for that battle of Kurukshetra. One main purpose, to establish Yudhisthira as king of the world. That was, you could say, his primary objective. Yudhisthira should be king of the world. The only way it was going to happen, there had to be this war. Another reason for this setup of the battle of Kurukshetra was that Bhagavad-gita could be spoken. Why was it need to be spoken? We'll hear about that tonight in the section that I'm going to read to us. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam that Vyasadeva has compiled the Mahabharat epic book, Mahabharat, for Stri Sudra Dvijabandhunam. But the main purpose of that Mahabharat is to get the person to read Bhagavad-gita, which we find in the Mahabharata. So the Bhagavad-gita, the song of God, Bhagavan, the person with complete, unlimited opulences. So tonight, we're going to hear 3 verses in chapter 4. Chapter 4 is entitled Divya Gyan, Transcendental Knowledge. There are 2 branches of knowledge in the Vedas: material knowledge and transcendental knowledge. Bhagavad-gita is transcendental knowledge. And this chapter 4, out of the 18 chapters, is entitled Transcendental Knowledge. Chapter 4 begins, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Imang Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manor Ikshvakabe Brabit. So this verse gives us the history of Bhagavad-gita. Krishna says, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga. That is another definition of Bhagavad-gita. Imperishable science of yoga. Now, yoga here means linking with God. That is the context of this yogam in this verse. Imang vivasvate yogam. The context is the science of one's relationship to God. This is a fundamental teaching of Bhagavad-gita. Every living entity has an eternal relationship with God. That relationship is based on service. When we say we love somebody, talk is cheap. We demonstrate our love to someone by service. By service to an individual, we demonstrate our love. The husband works hard all day, grappling with so many things in the world. He makes money. With that money, he provides for the family. That is his service. Traditionally, things have changed, but traditionally, the wife would take care of the family affairs, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children. That was her service. That's how she demonstrated her love. Indeed, the night of the Rasa dance, Krishna specifically told the gopis, "You gopis, your first order of business, take care of the children. Take care of the husband. Take care of the husband's family." Krishna outlined the duties of a chaste wife. And that is how she demonstrates love. It's based on service. The same way with God. According to the teachings of Bhagavad-gita and later the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, the constitutional position of the soul is to render service to God. And by that rendering of service to God, one experiences ananda, unending happiness. This is the essence of bhakti yoga, because it's all based on service. You're doing service to Krishna right now. How? You're hearing the message of Bhagavad-gita. That is service. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, because you have agreed to sit here, Bhagavatam says right now, Krishna in your heart is very pleased with you. And what is he doing right now? Vijunoti. He's cleansing your heart of inauspiciousness. Specifically, the word used in the verse that I'm referring to, abhadrani. Bhadra means auspicious. Abhadra, inauspicious. And in Prabhupada's translation to that verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, how does he define abhadrani? Affection for material enjoyment, which you all have. That's a disease. Affection for material enjoyment, it keeps us prisoners of this material world. As soon as I become free from affection for this material world, I'm liberated. I'm free. But and Prabhupada used to tell us, even you have attachment to rasgula, you have to come back and take birth. You have to finish up your attachments to enjoy this material world. That is the price that you have to pay. That's your ticket. back to the kingdom of God. You have to, and this is mentioned in chapter 15 of Bhagavad-gita, becoming free from material attachment. So, the imperishable science of yoga, that is what Bhagavad-gita is. It explains what is your eternal relationship with God based on service. And you're serving God right now by hearing. And Krishna in your heart is cleansing your heart right now from this material affection. And the more you pay attention to the message, Krishna is blessing you more and more. As I've said hundreds and hundreds of times, I know Indian people for the past 25, 30 years, that's my preaching. Like right now, everybody's coming up for Ashirvad, right? But what I have pointed out hundreds of times, you can have Ashirvad every moment. All you have to do is chant and hear about Krishna. As long as you're hearing and chanting about Krishna, you are being blessed. Sometimes I ask myself, why do people come up to me for blessings? What do I have? But then I remember, yes, I have something. Because I spend my day hearing and chanting, I have something to give. If I stopped hearing and chanting, then I would be bankrupt. And there would be nothing to give to you. But as long as I fill up my account every day with hearing and chanting about Krishna, not Donald Trump. I have to hear and chant about Krishna. Then my account is full. And then I can give blessings. So first point here, Krishna says, I instructed this Bhagavad-gita, or the imperishable, nice word, imperishable. Imperishable means Bhagavad-gita was true in the past, it's true now, and will always be true. Bhagavad-gita is not fake news. Bhagavad-gita is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it's the truth past, present, and future. This is one reason why, although not raised as a Hindu, why for the past over 40 years am I reading Bhagavad-gita? Because my spiritual master instructed and taught me, no, Bhagavad-gita is eternal truth. That's why I study Bhagavad-gita. Not because it's Hindu, but because it's eternal truth. And it's applicable to Indians, Americans, Europeans. It's applicable to everyone. That's why I study Bhagavad-gita. It's absolute truth. It's the science. Notice Prabhupada uses that word science. Not hocus pocus. It's science. What does science mean? Science means you follow a particular procedure, you get a predictable result. That's science. For instance, your car is a scientific machine. And if you know the process, you can start your car. Like I have one of those keyless cars, right? But I have to have this on me. Otherwise, it won't start. There's no key, but the key is in here. As long as this is on me, I put my foot on the brake, I touch the button, car starts. Science, right? If it doesn't, then there's something wrong with this or something wrong with the car, because there's a science. When I bring it into the mechanic, he fixes it according to the science. He has the manual. I take my car to the Toyota company. And they have the book. Oh, with your model, you need this, 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 and this. Every model has its own specifics. This is science. So Bhagavad-gita is a science. It's more than religion. Don't even think about religion. It's a science. That's how you explain to non-Hindu people. Don't call it religion, because they'll turn you off. Oh, no. It's a science. Oh, it's a science. Yes. A science of relationship you have with God. Krishna says, I spoke this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god. Now, here is something you don't hear in other scriptures. Sun god. Yes, the Gita and the Bhagavatam are telling us that there are living beings on other planets. This is a topic now in the scientific world. They're trying to go to Mars and this and that to see if there's life on other planets. I don't need to do that because Bhagavad-gita and Bhagavatam already told me. There are living beings on all the planets. There is a sun god. That means he's the president of the sun planet, just like we have a president of the United States. You have your Modi in India. Every country has its leader. So there is a head person in the sun planet. His name, Bhagavad-gita gives you the name, Vivasvan. And Krishna is saying, Arjuna, long time ago, I spoke when I'm speaking to you to the sun god Vivasvan. And Vivaswan instructed it to his son known as Manu. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. So the particular Manu was Vaivasvata Manu. Okay? And this Vaivasvata Manu, he gave it to his son Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku was a forefather of Lord Ram, because Ram comes from the Surya Vangsha. Krishna comes from the Soma or moon dynasty. Lord Ram comes from the sun dynasty. So here, what Krishna is saying in this first verse of chapter 4 is quite interesting. What did we learn? First of all, Bhagavad-gita is a science. What is the science? Your relationship with God. Number 2, this is not the first time Krishna is speaking Bhagavad-gita to Arjuna. It's not the beginning. He spoke it millions of years prior. In Prabhupada's purport, Prabhupada said it appears that Bhagavad-gita has been in the earth system for at least 2 million years. It's not a new religion. This Judaism and Muslimism, these are new religions. Bhagavad-gita goes back at least 2 million years ago. That's why it's an ancient science. That's why we say Sanatan Dharma. That I will accept. Sanatan. If somebody says to me, why did you become Hindu? I say, no. My religion is Sanatan Dharma. Eternal. No beginning, no middle, no end. It's always there. It just happens to appear, but the knowledge is always there. Everybody chant the Maha